My name is Henry Michael Brown, owner of Coqui-san LLC, a intellectual property creation company. The job is to create intellectual property like Trucker No Bouken and Savage Strikers and get that out to market. I have a couple of IPs out right now, available in merch form. The Impossible Man being one of them. The novel, along with merch like pins and stickers, stickers. All right. Then I have Splatter Bomb, which is also available. Right now, it's a tabletop game. I should have brought that over. It's all the way over there. I should have brought that over there. Brought it over here. You know what? Give me 2 seconds. Here we go. 2 seconds. Splatter Bomb is another one of my IPs. It's a tabletop game. It's a tabletop board game. Here we go. You've seen my characters. If you've been on my main channel, you've seen them a lot. Especially if you watched the Splatter Bomb Lounge. Here we go. Here we go. And I've been looking for a publisher for this as well. Here we go. This is the game. It's not a card game, it's a board game. Here's the game board where you put them together. It's laminated because you will be using the marker to mark on the board. Like so. You mark on the board like that to mark what your characters are doing. There we go. Some of my characters include Handy, which you've seen a lot. You've seen this character on my channel page, especially Coqui-san Japan. Spraycon, one of the characters, Washer. It's not Roller, unfortunately. And then there's of course Bradley. There's Bradley. So I have 2 games, one board game, one card game that I'm trying to get published. In addition to Trucker No Bouken, which I'm also trying to get published. Okay. I'm trying to get done. The mission objective. The mission objective of Coqui-san LLC is to get these IPs not only published, but in Japan. That's why there is a Japanese language version of Trucker No Bouken on SYOSETSU.com. SYOSETSU.com, for those of you who don't know, it is a story writing website written by Japanese. And it is a site very well known for many of your favorite anime getting picked up from there by publishers. Mushoku Tensei, that I was reincarnated as a slime. Bofuri, to name a few, they all came from SYOSETSU.com. I'm trying to get myself a Japanese audience, so that way I can break in for my company and I. So that way I can have a nice international audience. Japan is cool. Japan is awesome. I translated this myself because I have been in school studying Japanese. I've been doing my live streams on Twitch and Kick Mondays and Tuesdays with my Japanese studies while I'm going to school. I'm prepping up to do the Japanese language proficiency test N5 level. This is the first textbook I got. I'm still looking for more books, and I gotta figure out how to find a testing center, how much it costs, and all that stuff. But in the meantime, I'm going to be studying that. So that way I can stop using translators as a crutch when I translate Trucker No Bouken, and later tonight you're going to see me translating Savage Strikers. Kanji is extremely difficult. And has been a thorn on my side. I can read hiragana, katakana. To give you an example, right here, these little characters here, that's Daiichi Sho, which means chapter 1. And the first chapter is teleportation or teleportation. If you want to get all, if you want to get all accent like and everything, but basically that is the mission, and I'm trying to get my novel that is currently published on BarnesNoble.com and Amazon.com into Japan as well. The Impossible Man. It's a very, very important book to me to get it out into their hands. I want to get it out into Japanese hands and get that audience going. Purchasing merch. I made merch out of the Splatterbomb characters. Out of The Impossible Man, as well as another old story that I had going. If you've seen the video on my writing channel, I celebrated 15 years of Arcana Magi. My character that you see in my channel here, my writing channel, that little magical girl, she is not just only my channel mascot. She represents the Arcana Magi universe that I had completed. It was a 9-year write. It was a story that I used to practice and train myself to get better with writing, learning syntax and such. She became, I built a game around her, a tabletop game around her for my Arcana Magi series and franchise. And I was able to hire an artist who rendered her like that you see here on this channel. And she became the face of the writing channel. She's the official mascot for my writing channel because Arcana Magi was my largest story to date. It's a very, very big series. It's a multiverse. It grew into a multiverse, which was pretty crazy. I never thought in a million years I'd be able to pull something like that off. But yeah, I do have merch of her pixel form, which was her original artwork. And I was hoping that I could be able to make merch out of this artwork as well, out of her new art, but haven't been able to. So hopefully, yeah, my merch is on Redbubble because I don't have time in the world to play customer service. I'm a one man company, so it's very tough. It's very tough. But this is what this whole channel is about. This whole channel is about getting this. Well, it is in Japanese hands because it's on SYOSETSU, but it's about getting this rewritten so I could continue on with book 2 and get on with and then find out how to get this into the marketing. Deeper into the marketplace. This is like step 1 of the Japanese marketplace, SYOSETSU. But if I want to get further inside the marketplace, I gotta figure that out. But I can't do that because I gotta rewrite it, not just only in English, but in Japanese. And the issue that I'm having with Japanese, that kanji is extremely hard. And I've been relying on translators as a crutch. So even though I'm in school, the translators have become a crutch. So now I'm trying to get started in learning N5 level, so that way I can at least rewrite Truck no Bouken at an N5 level, and get it written in an N5 level, and I'll have a proper Japanese language novel for the Japanese. You guys don't worry, you guys have the English language version. Don't worry, I have an English language version. That's what I'm looking to rewrite this week. So that's why there's not going to be any research videos. All the videos that I'm doing for the live streams from last month and this month are going to get posted up, so there's content. Don't worry, there will be content for you all to watch. For all of you to watch. This is a very big deal for me. Because I have been talking. I can't talk business, but I can say that I have been talking. I have been talking, getting information, research, and all that stuff. But I have been talking, so it's not like I'm not sitting here. BSing you guys. I'm sure you probably came across a lot of people on YouTube who'd be like, I want an anime, I want a manga, I want, I want saying, and don't deliver on it. There are people out there who are doing that, you know. And then there are those who step it up, and I'm here to step it up. And I didn't do a good job stepping it up, so that's why I gotta step it up. Starting next week. This is the situation. I mean, I repeat this 1,000 times because I'm trying to get people to to hear, to know, to understand what's going on here, because this is a big deal, and I'm looking to win here. I'm looking to win. Let me put it this way: I am looking to win. You so skibbity. Yeah, that's right. Let me tell you something. If you ever see Michael Bay, give him a hug and say thank you for letting for having Coqui-san research skibbity and give us all the love. Oh, that is so egotistical. That's so egotistical. How dare he? Twitter. Cancel. No, seriously. I mean, Michael Bay is the reason I found myself into Skibbity, because it just blew my mind that he's making a movie out of it. All right, so let's see. I got y'all down on so I got y'all up to speed on me, my channel. Oh yeah. And just to note, the YouTube channels are not the centerpiece of my company. It's the writings and the game designs. Those are the centerpiece. These videos is supposed to get you all to learn about my books, my game designs, and become fans. And like buy the merch and all that stuff, and be fans of the merch, be fans of the book, all that. I'm saying, I'm trying to build a fandom. That's what this channel is all about. It's to bring you all in on the journey. You all are welcomed on the journey for as long as you want. I'm not gonna hold you at gunpoint. I'm not gonna hold you on gunpoint. All right, to be my fans. So don't you worry about it. You could ignore this 12 gauge that I'm holding here in my hand. I'm just letting you all know that I'm not holding you on gunpoint. Spread the word, please. Spread the word, Spread the word. Let people know I exist. Most importantly, let YouTube know I exist. I am short 500. Short 500 because for some weird reason, as long as I'm not at 500, I'm not going to blow up with YouTube's algorithms and Lakiza Pinky is like, hell nah. Get that gun out of my face. How you say? Yeah. I can't. Marketing is one of my company's weak points. One of my company's very, very big weak points. So I need fans. I need fans to spread the word. I need more subscribers. Because YouTube doesn't care about the little people. They say they care about the little people, but if you understand their algorithms, for those of you well versed on of YouTube, then you know that that their algorithms are a total screw job for the small people. For the little people. They sit there and say, "Oh, we improve upon it and everything," but they don't really improve upon it. They just make it worse, make it harder. They I don't know. They put a ridiculous standard on it. It's YouTube. It's just YouTube videos. Holy crap, man! You're not HBO Max and Disney Plus. You're not even Disneyland. You're not at that level. But Amazon owns us, yeah, and they got their own thing called Amazon Prime Video. You think they care about YouTube? I know, right? YouTube probably watching, and they're like, make sure to note him into the shadow realm. Make sure to add Coqui-san to the shadow realm. So yeah, whatever y'all can do. I'm not asking you to build an arc or anything. It's YouTube, it's the internet. Just spread the word. Just spread the word, or make a wiki or one of those TV trope articles that I've been covering. I don't know. Do one of those things. Just do one of those things. Have fun. Have fun. Have fun with this channel, man. Have fun. Have fun with me and my channel. You know, that's all I'm really asking for. Just come on in, have fun. You know, treat my channel, treat this whole operation like you would treat going to Toys R Us. You go into Toys R Us, you check out the toys. You're like, I don't like this. Okay, that's fine, but I like this one. You know, so like you go and you see the Impossible Man, you're like, I don't like the Impossible Man. But then you see Savage Strikers, you're like, I like Savage Strikers. You pick it up. That's fine. That's called normal customer behavior. Okay, that's normal customer behavior. Okay, I'm not expecting y'all to be fans of every single thing I create, but you know, be a fan of something. You know, if it's something that you like, be the fan. Be a fan of it. You like the Impossible Man, be a fan of it. You like Trucking No Bouken, be a fan of it. You like Savage Strikers, be a fan of it. You like the Coqui-san channel in and of itself, the YouTube channel, be a fan of it. Whatever you want to be a fan of, be a fan of. You know, but I'm just trying to let you all know that. If you want to see this get blown up and be part of the blow up, it's not gonna help if the word's not spread out and YouTube keeps on doing crazy things with the algorithms and making it harder for what is right now a small channel not get seen. You know, not get seen. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on, man. This is a chill. This is all chill here. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be chill here. Leave the business side behind the scenes and just chill right here, right now. You know what I mean? We're all on chill mode. Speaking of chilly, maybe I should increase the heat. It's freaking freezing outside. It's 25 degrees. Holy crap. Yeah, you know, that's all I'm looking for. Just looking for a fan base. Just looking for a fan base. Everybody is welcome. Everybody's welcome. Or I could say something very controversial. Is that what you're looking for? You're looking for controversy? A controversial statement? Is that what you're looking for? You're looking for a controversial statement? Is that what you're all looking for? Something that you could clip? Oh, I know what's going on the internet. Don't think I don't pay attention. Don't think I don't pay attention. Oh, I see all. I pay attention. My work is DEI free. Oh my gosh! I can't believe he said that. Oh my gosh! I can't believe his works don't do that. Twitter. Cancel. Oh my gosh! The Streisand effect. Oh my gosh! The Streisand effect is working. It's working. Give me all the likes. Give me all the subscribers. Oh man, that's right. I think you know that thing is crap. It's an offensive crap. As a Puerto Rican, it's an offensive crap. If you want to see how I feel, I got a video on that on this channel. In my lore channel. Just go to my lore. Here, let me pull this up so you can find it. I encourage all of you to watch it because I know for a fact. There we go. Yeah, see, that's my mascot, Azuna Kusanagi from Arcana Magi. I know for a fact that there's a lot of that BS going on, okay? And I don't like it as a Puerto Rican. It's very offensive. It's very insulting. Where is it at? Where's my lore videos at? Here we go, Coqui-san lore. There we go. All you gotta do is go to the story of how being Puerto Rican means so much to me. I encourage all of you to watch it. It's 18 views. It's an hour long, but it's 1 hour of absolute diatribe of what made me very, 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 very angry about this crap. I despise it. Story first, fun first. You know. I try to explain. You know, I explained on my live multi-stream, and since I got you YouTubers out here, I'll explain it very simple. Okay. I get what they're coming from. but they really have no idea how to write it. Okay, we've had stories throughout the ages that bring to light controversies, social issues, political issues, and so on. 1984, Animal Farm, Splatterhouse 5, you know? We've had these over the ages. But they don't go around doing this to their readers. Okay? You know what? I've read this on Kick and Twitch. I'm going to read this for you YouTubers. For all of you YouTubers out here. Okay? I'm going to read this for you YouTubers. Alright? Now, let me just, I'll pull these out here. Okay? Because I read these. As a writer, I read these because I got to learn to write. And Arcana Magi was a series in which I practiced writing. If you read it, you'll see a whole lot of messes. You'll see a lot of experimentations. It was all experimentations, understanding syntax and so on. But because if you want to be a good writer, you got to learn to write. And most importantly, you got to understand how to write. You know what I'm saying? I recommend for all you new writers out there, Strunk & White's The Elements of Style, the basics of clarity and grace. David Gerald, Worlds of Wonder, to learn how to world build. It's a very good book. All right, Writing Well by William Sinzer, which helps with the syntax stuff. And my most favorite book that I'm gonna read to all of you, The 38 Most Common Fiction Writing Mistakes. All right, by Jack M. Bouken. I'm gonna read this for y'all. I'm gonna read this one chapter. Well, I read all the chapters. Well, not all the chapters, but I read the important ones. Okay, I'm gonna read the most important ones. What are we talking here? 14. Here we go. Chapters 14, 15, and 16. I hope you all are ready, because let me tell you something. The writers, the publishers these days that are doing this thing. You know, if people were to pick up The Impossible Man and see my characters, they will say, oh, this must be a DEI book. This must be DEI stuff. No, it's not. It's a comedy. It's a fantasy comedy. All right? It's fun first. You know, any type of commentary that I may have on it is actually sitting deep in the background. It's there, but it's deep in the background because the fun comes first. And same with Trucker No Bouken and others, you know? And people who see that flag there will probably think, oh, he must be a DEI guy. No, I'm not. I'm not. Because DEI insults me. It insults my people. It insults many ethnicities and nationalities and races. And I can't stand it. So, the 38 most common fiction writing mistakes. Chapter 14. I hope everybody listens clearly. Don't lecture your reader. That's the title of chapter 14. I want you to look at that. Let me zoom this in for y'all. Let me zoom in on this. Let's switch the screen here. Okay. Now you're experiencing my diatribes. This is what you all miss when you don't join in on my live streams. You miss out on my diatribes. All right. Here we go. Chapter 14. Don't lecture your readers. All right. This is a very important thing. Don't lecture your reader. Alright? Me. There you are, deep in your story somewhere, and you realize that there's some vital information that your reader really ought to know. So you write something like this. Charlie had no way of knowing this, but it is a well-documented fact that Type A personalities suffer a high incidence of heart attacks, and his enemy Sam was definitely a Type A personality. Sam's troubles had begun early in his life, and an examination of his early background provides an interesting example of how compulsive Type A behavior can be destructive. That sounds weird, doesn't it? Yeah, I'm sure many of you have heard that kind of writing before, right? This is what he warns you of. Don't lecture your reader. All right. To continue, narration. This is Bouken here. It's probably pretty obvious to you that this kind of lecture doesn't fit very well into contemporary fiction. No. There was a time in the earliest days of the novel and before the modern short story had begun to assume its present form when a fiction writer could address you, dear reader, and speak author to reader like a stage lecturer might speak to an audience. But fiction has become much more sophisticated since those long gone days, and readers now won't stand for lectures by the author. Why? For at least two reasons. First, lectures by the author violate every principle of viewpoint, as just discussed in the two preceding chapters. Second, such lectures completely stop the forward movement of the story and so distract the reader from the plot, where he should be focused on. Another possible reason for avoiding author lectures in your fiction, you may find yourself deviating from the fictioneer's goal, the telling of a story, so that to that of a pamphleteer, which is trying to sell a belief. Fiction may convince readers about some moral, ethical, or political issue, but if it does, the convincing is a byproduct of the tale telling. See 1984, Animal Farm, Slaughterhouse 5. I was about to say Splatterhouse 5. Not the game Splatterhouse, Slaughterhouse 5. Fiction does not exist primarily to convince anybody of anything. It exists to tell a story, and by so doing to illuminate the human condition. Let me make a suggestion, says the author here. If you ever find yourself saying that you're writing a story to prove something political or whatever, shelve that story instantly and don't work on it again until you can write it for its own sake. Of course, writers of fiction care about issues of the day. Often they have very, very strong opinions, but the published writers entertained. They don't write to prove anything. If their story happens incidentally to say something thematic, that's grand. Most stories do end up implying some idea or feeling. But the convincing, if any, happens is a byproduct of the storytelling process and cannot be its goal, or the story almost certainly will come out like a very bad Sunday sermon rather than as a story. So perhaps you have been convinced not to try to use fiction as a delivery system for your opinions. A soapbox is better. But what about those inadvertent, well-meaning technical slips that might also read like a lecture in your copy? These are sometimes harder to catch. As we've mentioned in chapters 12 and 13, you'll establish a viewpoint and write in such a way as to remind the reader of where that viewpoint is. It should be relatively easy for you to slip in material that you, the author, want in the story, as long as the viewpoint character needs to think about it. What do I mean here? Simply this. Faced with the need to work some factual material into her story, the good writer does not say, how can I get this into the story? Instead, she asks herself, why does my viewpoint character need to learn or recall this information? Or, how can I get the viewpoint character to notice what I want noticed here? Which is quite different from sitting back as the author and shoveling in data. The more you practice your handling of viewpoints, the easier and more like second nature it will become. The more solidly you're writing in viewpoint, the less likely it is that you'll launch into a distracting lecture by the author. Look for lectures in your fiction. They tend to be chunks of information that you, the writer, stuck in there because of what you wanted in the story, rather than what the viewpoint character would be thinking or dealing with. If or when you find such obtrusive chunks of author intervention, figure out how to get them in through the viewpoint. Ask yourself such questions as, what can happen in the story to make my viewpoint character remember this? What can happen to my viewpoint character to make my viewpoint character seek out and get this information in the story now? What other character might come in to tell this information to tell my viewpoint character, and why? What other source can my viewpoint character come upon to bring out this desired information? A newspaper story, for example, or TV news bulletin. There are always ways you can devise to avoid dumping information into the story via the author lecture route. There are always ways, and you must always find one of them. That's chapter 14. Chapter 15. Don't let your characters lecture either. That's the title of chapter 15. Let me show that to all of you. There you go. There you go. Chapter 15. As discussed in chapter 14, it isn't a good idea to dump factual information into a story via the author intrusion route. Sometimes writers realize this, but unfortunately decide to use their character as mouthpieces for the desired data, making the characters lecture at one another in a totally unrealistic way. Usually dialogue is not a good vehicle for working and research information. Characters tend to make dumb speeches for the author's convenience rather than talking like real people do. While dialogue does convey useful information in the story, and a lot of it, dialogue's primary function is not to give the author a thinly disguised way of dumping his lecture notes. Maybe you know the kind of lecture dialogue I mean. For example, Charlie walked up and said, "Hi there, hi there, Molly McBride, who was born in Albany, 1972, of poor but hardworking parents. Your father was a store clerk. How nice you look today, wearing that red blouse that goes nicely with your shoulder-length blonde hair. My goodness, as I recall, you must still be married to Brad, the world champion tennis player, whose last tournament appearance saw him reach the semifinals at Flushing Meadow, where..." Cut. Yeah, you've seen that. You've seen that. I know you've all seen that. Yeah. This kind of nonsense is every bit as obtrusive and dumb as the direct author lecture discussed in Chapter 14. Dialogue, emphatically, is not made up of sequential lectures by various characters intent on telling each other what they already know. Dialogue simply cannot be used as a disguise for author lectures. You, the writer, must find more clever ways of working your needed information into the story. Finally, let me make one more impertinent observation about lectures by the fiction author. A large percentage of the information you think must go into your story will find its way into the characters' lives and actions without your much worrying about it if it is truly relevant. On the other hand, you may need to question whether some of the stuff you want in there is really needed. If the characters don't talk about it, remember it, or act upon it in the course of your plot, how can it really be so important? And if it's just your opinion about something, who cares? Certainly not your readers. Leave the lectures for the classroom or the Moose Lodge. Write fiction. That was chapter 15. Let's see, how long is chapter 16 here? Oh, okay. I can get through this? Yes, I can. Chapter 16. Don't let them be windbags. Here we go, chapter 16. In the last chapter, we warned about letting characters lecture for the sake of piling information into the story, but that's not the only way. Writers sometimes mess up their dialogue. Sometimes without realizing it, they let their characters talk on and on, boringly, becoming windbags. A windbag in old-fashioned slang is a person who talks and talks and talks and talks and talks some more and never lets anybody get a word in edgewise. Windbags in real life are colossal bores. We see your videos. We see your tweets. In fiction, they're even worse. That's important to remember because so much of modern fiction is composed of dialogue, characters talking. You can't afford to portray windbag characters all the time because if you do, your characters will be boring. Your dialogue will look more like rampant soliloquies than real people talking, and your story will go right down the tubes. So you have to write modern dialogue. That means that the only time you can let a story character talk like a windbag is when you intend to portray him as a windbag. The great majority of your characters have to be more terse and logical than we often are in real life if the dialogue in the page is to appear realistic, which is to say, good, realistic story dialogue often has little actual resemblance to the way we really talk every day. It just looks that way. How do you avoid the dread windbag syndrome? You must not fill pages with endless rambling talk. Try to substitute speeches for dialogue. Allow characters to beat every subject to death. Let one character totally ignore what the other is saying. Fill your story with talk where nobody wants anything. Be literary or classic. Produce pages of dull, overlong paragraphs of speechifying. But what, you may ask, can you do to prevent this sort of thing? In the first place, recognize that a story conversation should almost always follow the rules of stimulus and response as explained in Chapter 11. Second, whenever possible, set up your dialogue scenes so that they play out one-on-one, getting rid of other characters who might interrupt and make the conversation more complicated. Setting up one-on-one dialogues often makes life simpler all around. If Joe and Bill are to talk in your story, and you also have Sam and Fred standing around, figure a way to have Sam call to the phone. Fred decides to go to lunch. Now, you have a one-on-one between Joe and Bill, and it's easier. Remember, too, that most of the time your dialogue will become sleek, swift, and contemporary if you will just provide your viewpoint character with a conversational goal. With a conversational goal. A viewpoint with a goal. Information to be sought or an opinion to be sold will tend to keep things moving in a straight line, even when the other character is being obstreperous. The strongly goal-motivated talker will not allow pages to fill with rambling talk. He will stick to the point and keep dragging the conversation back to it. And he won't allow long speeches from anybody. He'll keep insisting on a return to the issues at hand. Having a conversational goal helps you avoid the impulse to drag dialogue out endlessly, beating the subject to death too if the characters stick to the point, and one of them must insist on doing so. Then the conversation not only can't wander too far away, it can't extend past the point of decision on the point at issue. In this regard, it's vital to make sure both characters are listening. If character A wants to talk about who stole the money, but character B simply won't pay any attention and keeps mumbling about his golf score last weekend, all is lost. Nothing will make sense or progress. You need to make your dialogue participants listen, then respond directly. If you feel your story with people who don't want anything, of course, all is lost anyway because there can be no focus and therefore no linear development. All right. All right, we can stop right here. I think the point is made. If you all feel skittish that there's some DEI thing going on here, no, there's none of that going on here. I like to tell stories. I like for my stories to be fun. I like to write interesting characters. Maybe that's why I don't have anybody watching. Maybe that's why nobody's watching. I'm not controversial enough, huh?